Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another album review, classic album review, classic album revisited, or just revisited. I'm doing, I'm pulling together two videos on Ronnie Montrose, probably a ranking video looking at his entire output and my favourite albums that he's appeared on, including Montrose and Gamma, and also maybe a rundown of my top 20 tracks with Ronnie Montrose. And as I was doing that, I was obviously visiting lots of different things, and one of them was this album, They Only Come Out at Night, from 1972 by the Edgar Winter Group. Just look at that cover. This is a cover that every time my wife sees it, she asks me to cover it up. It just gives her the heebie-jeebs. I can understand that to a point. It's just so striking though, isn't it? I just remember it before I heard a note. I was really young, 1972, I was 13. I remember seeing it in the shops and thinking, what is that like? And of course, to add to the musical image, the musicalness of this image was the track Frankenstein, which I remember seeing on Top of the Pops, and I think Pan's People danced to it. Now, Frankenstein is just an instrumental hard rock, proto-metal song, which is probably the most dancey track ever. Alan Freeman used sections of it for his rock show. It's just a masterpiece of synth, sax, guitar riffage. It's just unique to it. There's nothing else like it. There's nothing else like it on this album, to be honest. But it's brilliant. I think I bought it on single before I had enough money to buy the album. And it was later on, once I discovered later on, about 12 months later, once I discovered the first Montrose album, that I rolled back 18 months or so and found this and was hoping it would be similar. But of course it's not quite the same, because Edgar Winter is very much into the R&B, blues, soul stuff. So there's a crossover, with how all this was interacting. But of course Ronnie is there on the back, and in the gatefold sleeve as well. It's glorious, isn't it? It's glorious, just absolutely glorious. Really, really is good. And so when I eventually bought this, which I bought on one of those long CD boxes, and this was a CD. This is the original CD issue, I think. Hangin Around, When It Comes, Alta Maria. I kind of, I like them, but the other song that was a single, which wasn't really a big hit, but my God, it should have been, was Free Ride. Free Ride by the Edgar Winter Group. Oh, wow. Absolutely superb. And the track after that was the B-side of Frankenstein, which I used to put on the jukebox when I was a bit older in a pub, because I knew it used to drive the landlord and lady bonkers in the pub I used to go to, because it was just got faster and faster, and it was a really hard rock masterpiece. Undercover Man, Round and Round, Rock and Roll Boogie Woogie Blues. This is probably where Ronnie Montrose gets a chance to turn up his Montrose-esque guitar playing. And of course there was another song on here that also got under the skin. It wasn't a rock song, it was a ballad. It was a beautiful, beautiful ballad, and even at a young age I recognised it what it was. And it's Autumn, which, if I remember rightly, just bear with me, trying to work out who wrote all these things. It was written by Dan Hartman. Yes, Dan Hartman, who went on to become a disco dude. On this, he wrote a beautiful, beautiful song. We All Had a Real Good Time was next, and then Frankenstein, 4 minutes, 45 seconds of complete instrumental mayhem. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So if you want to know which version to get, you can try and track down the vinyl version. But the best, and this, I don't think this is available anymore. So I would recommend you I've got News for You, which is a box set, which came out on, who was this? Cherry Red HNE Recordings. And it features 6 albums. I'll do separate unboxing videos of these rather than try and cram it in. The only thing missing is the gatefold sleeves, but of course this is in here, as is the follow-up shock treatment, which I should do as a separate video really, because that's Rick Derringer, another guitar hero of mine. But this is probably the easiest way of getting all of Edgar's stuff. But I still actually personally love the cover. I think it just sets up the time, sets up that kind of glam, rock, androgynous, kind of arty, iconic period that was the 70s. But as I've said, there is some great playing on here. Who was in the band? Who was in the band? I've just mentioned them all. Dan Hartman, as I've said, Ronnie Montrose, Chuck Ruff, great player, and of course Edgar Winter, who's still with us. But of course 3 of this band are no longer with us, which is weird, isn't it? And you can find them on YouTube and see them all in action. But it's a great album, and one of Edgar's best, and a great place to find out if you are going to explore Ronnie Montrose's early career. It's a great stop-off point. But yeah, Free Ride, Autumn, Frankenstein. Check them out, stream them, let me know what you think in the comments, and I shall talk to you and see you very, very soon. Oh, make sure you subscribe, ring that little bell thing so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And you can now join as a YouTube subscriber and become a member, as well as becoming a patron, depending on which way you want to go. But either way, you are supporting me to do more of these videos. So, as I said, stay safe, keep spinning the records, and I'll see you very, very soon.